The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show brought to you by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. We are going into week 8 of the fantasy NBA season. Neil, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. It's good to be back on with you. It's been a festive weekend as we head into the holiday season. Basketball's in full swing. Football coming up on end of season and playoffs for those who care. I'm a little tired though. You know, the darkness gets to me. I need one of those sunlights to wake me up. How do you deal with this wintertime stuff?
It's really funny that you mentioned that you're tired. I am exhausted right now. We are recording this on Sunday night. It's 8:00 my time. What time is it where you're at, Neil?
It's 10.
10 o'clock where you're at. Neil, I am so tired. I am drinking a cup of coffee right now, which I never, ever do at this late at night. I never drink coffee because I'm scared it's going to keep me up all night. I don't even care at this point. I am that tired. So I spent the entire day today at this car show in Los Angeles called Radwood. And it's like, Neil, it is the craziest car show because it's all like 80s style Miami Vice. Like all the cars are like early 1990s, 80s. And there's people that like dress up all disco, like old school. It was nuts, man. It was like the craziest car show that I've ever been to.
Oh, wow.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's great. It's so retro. I remember.
Yeah, you see cars. I mean, if you guys don't know, I'm a little older, so I like old cars, and you see some cars at this show that you forgot that they even existed. Like you're like, I remember that car from high school. I remember, It's crazy, man. It's so much fun. Yeah. What about you? How's your weekend?
It's been okay. I had some work today. Saw some friends, family. That's about it. Just had kind of relaxing. Otherwise, not much else going on. It's been kind of dreary here in Chicago. Kind of rainy, overcast. Winter weather mix.
We just had a couple days of rain here in the Los Angeles area, and I love it. It's, we don't get a lot of rain here, but for me, I actually like it. So it was a nice change of pace for me to get some rain over here. But yeah, I don't know.
Nice. Should we hop into some NBA news in action?
Let's do it.
As our conversation is slowly dying. Let's say, so we have 6 games tonight on the slate. I'm looking at some news. I didn't see anything big. I saw Draymond Green's out for another 3 days. There's not much I can do around that in terms of taking advantage of it, I think. Booker went to the locker room. We can talk about that when we get there. Anything else you're seeing that you want to talk about from injuries?
I got a couple injuries. I don't know if it's worth mentioning, and it's a couple days old, but sounds like Dwight Howard's going to be out for an extended period of time. And Victor Oladipo it sounds like he's going to be out indefinitely. Now, it's questionable. I heard a report saying he could be back in the near future. So by indefinitely, I mean, maybe he's back in a week. Maybe he's back in 2 weeks. We just have no idea what that means. So I'm not sure if there's really any news here, but just something that maybe I felt like we can note. I don't know. What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, frustrating for Oladipo owners. He's already been kind of under the performing, even without the injuries, 33 on a per-game basis and 8 CAD, and now he is not even playing. So if you took him in the second round, God bless. If you took him in the first round, it's got to be tough. Second round, you're kind of hoping he just comes back soon and can get his stats up a bit. I kind of knew his field goal percent would drop off this year, and his steals and blocks were kind of high last year, but I didn't think he'd fall this far. I was thinking more like late second round, not into the late third round. So hope he gets better. Yeah, like you said, Howard's out indefinitely as well. He's someone I stay away from, so I guess I don't pay attention to his news, but obviously there are people that drafted him or at least picked him up at some point. Maybe I don't see him as a stash, but He probably is. Do you own him anywhere?
No, I like you are not a big. I'm not a big Dwight Howard guy, but I think what this really means is great news if you own Otto Porter, if you own Markieff Morris. I don't know, even if you own Bradley Beal and John Wall, I think this helps them out as well. So, for me, Neil, going into the season, I stayed away from all the Wizards because I was scared of the Dwight Howard effect. So it's kind of nice to not have to worry about the Dwight Howard effect if you drafted any of these other Wizards. What do you think, man?
Yeah, fair enough. I'm still waiting to see what happens with that team. Rumors about changes coming. Perhaps there won't be, though, till later in the year, if at all. So I guess you just kind of play them or proceed with caution. Yeah, I don't see any other injury news or anything interesting in the NBA world. Anything else before we go on to the games?
Nope. Let's jump into them.
All right, man. I can start us off as soon as I pull up my app. First game of the day, Lakers, Phoenix Suns. Big win for the Lakers, 120-96. I'll do the Phoenix side. Booker came back, just played 17 minutes. He did go to the locker room. Just took 8 shots, 6 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 1 block. He's been kind of a disappointment since coming back as well and had some injury issues to start the season. 29th currently on a per-game basis. Other players. Oh, Josh Jackson getting a start. This is interesting, Adrian. 30 minutes, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 13 shooting, 3 of 4 from the line, 2 steals, and a block. I always knew this guy had potential if he could get minutes and improved upon last season. And tonight's a game where he looked pretty decent. DeAndre Ayton, 10-10 with 2 assists and a block, 2 of 2 from the line, but he did struggle from the field, just 4 of 12. Trevor Ariza with probably one of the better lines of the night for the Suns, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 3-pointers, 4 steals. Mikal Bridges gets to start as well, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line, 2 3-pointers, and 2 steals. Elie Okobo, someone who was a speculative ad tonight, really did not do much. 3 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, just 1 of 9 shooting, including 1 3-pointer. Rashawn Holmes, someone who I think I might be streaming if I actually got him in a league. Tonight he had 15 points, a rebound, no assists, 7 of 12 shooting, 3 steals, and 4 blocks. You got to love that. Off the bench, Jamal Crawford played 17 minutes, Troy Daniels 15. Dragan Bender, 5. That guy, his career might be over, unfortunately. I guess the one thing I want to talk about here is Josh Jackson. Is this someone you stream, you pick up, you watch, you don't care about? What do you think?
Josh Jackson definitely has my attention. I believe this is the second start in a row for him. And as you said, a pretty decent line tonight. Now, the only concern I do have, and I had this same concern even when I thought he was going to be a decent draft pick this year, is he does not shoot well. 5 of 13 tonight, and I think that could be an issue for him going forward. So keep that in mind. If you are desperately being careful with your field goal percentage, this is probably not a guy you want to even touch. So I'm in a couple leagues, Neil, where my field goal percentage is a mess no matter what. So I can take a shot on him because I'm likely in hot water in that category anyhow. And then just want to add, Devin Booker, hamstring injury, could be something we see him miss a little bit of time. I think Elie Okobo is worth an ad because Devin Booker's been starting at the point guard spot. If he's going to be out, I think Okobo will get the start going forward at the point guard spot. Did not have a great game tonight, but the minutes were there and the usage was there. He took 9 shots tonight. Shots weren't falling. He only made 1 for 3 points, but I love that the minutes were there, and I think he'll be much better. So I think Okobo could be a short-term ad here. And then, Neil, the other guy, Mikal Bridges, started again. I believe this is the second game in a row. He started as well, saw 31 minutes, didn't have the greatest game, only 11 points, but did have the 2 steals, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. I think Mikal Bridges should be added in a lot of places. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence of Mikal Bridges. I have him in one league, and I think he is, being a rookie, I think he is going to struggle at times and have some really poor performances, but he could be okay. He's someone I'm going to stash in a league and see where it goes. I may drop him because I'm right on the fence with him if I need a stream with someone who has like more, I guess, guaranteed stats. So I'm on the fence. I just want to say with Josh Jackson, I'm not looking to pick him up. He's like a poor man's Brandon Ingram to me, and Brandon Ingram's barely worth owning right now. So I am, despite having a decent line, he's shooting, like you said, his percentages are just terrible. 40% from the field and 62% from the line. So hurts you in both those areas. Okobo might be worth streaming if you need a point guard. I think might want to go with Tim Frazier. We can talk about him later. But Okobo probably has much more lasting power than Frazier does. So at any rate, you ready to head over to the Lakers?
Yes, sir. The Los Angeles Lakers. I'm going to start with LeBron James. 22 points, a block with 8 assists, 6 rebounds. He added a 3, went 9 of 17 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. Did have 5 turnovers tonight, so that wasn't too great there. Lonzo Ball continuing to put up late round value, 7 points, 4 steals, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 3 of 10, 1 of 2 from the line. Kyle Kuzma with 23 points. Love that he contributed with 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block. He shot an efficient 8 of 14 from the field, 3 threes tonight, 4 of 4 from the line. Pretty great game from Kuzma. Brandon Ingram with 15 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, no defensive stats, had 1 3, shot 5 of 10, 4 of 7 from the line. JaVale McGee, this game was a blowout, so he saw 21 minutes, but still put up 14 points, a steal, a block. He had 8 rebounds, shot 7 of 10 from the field. And then off the bench, not too much. Beasley was a spark with 14 points in 13 minutes. Mo Wagner, 10 points here, 1 steal, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. I really like this line from him. Two threes tonight. I definitely don't think he's worth an ad because JaVale McGee and Tyson Chandler are the 2 guys in front of him in the front court. So I don't think he'll ever get enough minutes to be viable. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Los Angeles Lakers?
Yeah, like you said, this game was a blowout. So these these players who normally don't get a lot of minutes saw some minutes tonight and put up some decent stats and in a permanent basis. But yeah, I don't trust it going forward. I will say that it's really been disappointing with Josh Hart. He's someone that I thought could have some fantasy value this year, and he's now just fallen off a cliff the last handful of games and probably has been dropped everywhere and deservedly so. Kuzma, someone, he's very flashy, but he's 106th on the player rater, and I don't know if he's going to get a lot better throughout the year. I think that might be where he ends up, somewhere around 100. So I would consider selling high on him if you have someone in your league who's drawn to points. Other than that, not much else to take away. I think you covered it. All right.
Let's move on to the next one. Where should we go?
Let's go to New Orleans, Charlotte. And I'm going to start with the Pelicans, who won 119 to 109. I'm going to start with the guy who won me two leagues this week because I have him in both of the leagues. You know where I'm going. His name is Anthony Davis. 36 points, 19 rebounds, 8 assists on 14 of 19 shooting. I'm just laughing because it's not even fair. 6 of 6 from the line, 2 3-pointers, 2 steals, 2 blocks, did have 4 turnovers. Adrian, it's so much better to be lucky than good in fantasy to get the number 1 pick and get Anthony Davis. So fortunate. Let's see. Drew Holiday, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 of 13 shooting, 4 of 6 from the line, 1 3-pointer. Nikola Mirotic, 16 and 8 and 1, 3 of 3 from the line, 3 3-pointers and a steal. Tim Frazier, someone I'd mentioned earlier, he's getting a lot of assists if you need him. Not much else though. 7 points, 1 rebound, 9 assists, 3 of 6 from the field, a 3-pointer. Wesley Johnson got the start as well. 15 minutes, 3 points, 2 rebounds, no assists, no fantasy value, 1 steal in there. Off the bench, Solomon Hill saw 28 minutes, 6, 4, and 1. and a steal and a block. Is it Darius Miller? Yes. Darius Miller, 13 points. No assists, no rebounds. Did have a steal. Off the bench, Julius Randle had a slow night, 13 points, 9 rebounds on 5 of 13 shooting. So kind of disappointment for him. New Orleans is tough. There's really not much else to add. We had talked about perhaps getting Etuan Moore. He, I believe, was out tonight, so did not get any value. But someone I was just not sure I should pick up. I will say this. Anthony Davis is proving why I think he's my favorite player in the entire world, and so glad to own him. Other than that, not much else to add. I had Alfred Payton at one point. This guy, unfortunately, still has a broken hand and out another month at least. So Tim Frazier, like I said, if you need assists, he can help you there. He can help you if you're a 9-cat. He doesn't get many turnovers for a point guard, but other than that, he doesn't really do much else. What are your thoughts on the Pelicans?
Love your take on Frazier. Definitely, if you need help in assists, he is your guy. And Peyton is, I believe he's 2 weeks into a 6-week absence. So Frazier is likely locked in here in that starting point guard spot. And tonight, seeing 38 minutes, the minutes are there. Just like you said, though, Neil, I really wish he contributed in a couple more categories. But I am in a few leagues, though, Neil, where I am desperate for some help in assists. So luckily, I did pick him up in a few leagues. All right, I'm going to jump in on the Charlotte Hornets side. You covered everything else. I'm going to jump in on the Charlotte Hornets side. Going to start with Kemba Walker. For Kemba Walker's high standards, this feels like a letdown game. 13 points, a steal, a block, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He only shot 5 of 16. Didn't even make a 3 tonight. 3 of 5 from the line. Jeremy Lamb, a guy who has been balling out lately, only 11 points tonight, 2 steals, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 3, 2 of 3 from the line. I'm not worried about Jeremy Lamb. He's been very good lately. Nicholas Batum here, only 2 points in 14 minutes. Didn't do too much else. Had an assist and 3 rebounds, but definitely a disappointing game from Batum. Hernan Gomez here with 11 points in 14 minutes. He also added 8 rebounds, 1 3, shot 4 of 7 from the field. Marv Williams, I believe he left this game with an injury. Neil only played 11 minutes for 5 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 3. The guy who's piquing my interest, if Marvin Williams is going to miss any times, is Miles Bridges. Played 29 minutes here tonight, 16 points, 2 blocks, 1 assist. He had 8 rebounds to go with 3 threes, shot 6 of 13 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. I don't know how long Marvin Williams will be out, but in the short term, I think this guy could be worth a pickup. Kaminsky had a nice game off the bench, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 7 of 10 from the field. He added a 3. Parker getting 10 points in 24 minutes. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist also 10 points in 20 minutes. Nothing really too much else to talk about. Zeller's out right now. Biombo's not doing much. Monk only got 10 minutes. What do you think of the Charlotte Hornets, Neil?
Yeah, this was an interesting game for me to kind of break down because 3 other starters got 11, 14, and 14 minutes. So bizarre. I guess maybe they just got out of hand and he felt like the second unit was doing better and those guys didn't match up well. But Hernan Gomez, I thought in 14 minutes, 11 points, 8 rebounds. He's someone that we know can do a lot in a little minutes. And tonight didn't really get that many minutes at all and still didn't have a terrible line. I'm with you, though. Miles Bridges, if Marvin Williams is out for a while, I think Bridges becomes a lot more valuable. This guy is a very good player who's going to be part of the future of this team. And tonight had a nice line. He's had a couple good nights in a row. So definitely streamable for a while. May not have a long-term impact, but short-term is there. And then, like you said, with Jeremy Lamb, currently 63rd and 8-cat on a per-game basis. I think he can climb a little bit higher, maybe towards 50, but that's kind of where I see his ceiling, somewhere between 50 and 70. So we'll see where it ends up. All right.
Hey, super quick, just want to add, sounds like Marvin Williams sprained his right shoulder, was seen leaving the game with his arm in a sling, which could mean he's going to miss some games. It sounds like he's going to get some testing on Monday, but definitely if he's going to miss any time, Miles Bridges, maybe even MKG, but I would lean towards Miles Bridges. Okay, man.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. MKG, even in extended minutes, sometimes doesn't get great fantasy value. All right, let's go to Memphis, Philadelphia. Philadelphia keeps on churning here. Keeps on trucking, I should say, 103.95. Another win for them. I'll take the Memphis side, though, because they've got your second favorite player, Jaren Jackson Jr. 23 minutes tonight, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 5 of 10 from the field, 6 of 6 from the line, 1 steal, 3 blocks. I heard Bernie Bickerstaff compare him to Kevin Garnett recently. Pretty good praise. Marcus All played 38 minutes, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Did not shoot well tonight, though. 4 of 14 from the field. 2 3-pointers, a steal, and 2 blocks, so did well on that end. Mike Conley, a solid game, 21 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 of 7 from the line, 3 3-pointers, a steal, and a block. Garrett Temple, someone I plugged into DFS thinking he'd be safe. Not really. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Just so boring. 3 3-pointers, no steals, no blocks. Let's see. Oh, Kyle Anderson, someone that we thought could have fantasy value this year. So far, not really proven it. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, no steals, a block, 1 of 1 from the line. Just took 2 shots in those 28 minutes. Really disappointing. Someone I think I overvalued this year. Fortunately, I did not end up with him anywhere. Off the bench, JaMychal Green got 25 minutes, 14 and 7 with 2 3-pointers and 4 steals. Good to see that. Marshawn Brooks, someone who I thought could have good value this year, clearly is not NBA ready to start. Just 21 minutes, 12 points, 2 rebounds. Off the bench, what did I say about Memphis? Jaren Jackson Jr. has already climbed to number 50 in per game on an 8-category basis, and I think it's going to get better, Adrian. I think he might outperform your number 1 guy. What do you think? You think he's going to end up above? You know who I'm talking about.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. You think it's possible?
Whoo, well, yeah, I think it could be possible, man. Especially, because I agree with you, Neil. I think JJJ is just going to keep getting better. He is, and so he can. His ability to contribute in so many categories, and he's so efficient. And with how bad Donovan Mitchell is struggling, I agree with you, man. I think it could be possible that he squeaks out ahead of him. So we'll see how that goes. And Neil, I don't know if you saw over the weekend, JJJ put up, I believe it was a 36-point game. And I think he was the youngest NBA player to put up that many points in a road game. So, and I'm actually a little upset that Coach Bickerstaff made that comparison to KG, because I've been thinking that for so long. His game, exactly like KG, has that outside game, that inside game, can do it all. So I love that comparison, man. Anyways, I'm going to jump in on the other side and going to take a look at the Sixers. And man, so many places to start here. I'll start with the big man, Joel Embiid. Big double-double here. 15 points, 14 rebounds, a steal, a block, 3 assists. Shooting was a little off tonight, was only 4 of 13. No threes, 0 of 2 from downtown, 7 of 8 from the line. Ben Simmons with 19 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Shot 8 of 10, which is really nice. The 3 of 8 from the line hurts a little bit, but you'll take this line from him. Jimmy Butler here, 21 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 block. 7 of 17 from the field, 0 of 4 from downtown, 7 of 8 from the line. JJ Redick having a beautiful game here, 24 points, 3 rebounds, had 3 threes, shot 3 of 3 from the line, 9 of 17 from the field. Not too much else happening here. Muscala with 8 points in 28 minutes. The bench is pretty quiet. No, Wilson Chandler was out of this one. We know Markelle Fultz has been out of the lineup for a while. What do you think of this game, Neil? What do you think of Philly?
Yeah, Philly's definitely a contender now in the East. This team has just been doing so well with the addition of Butler, and his fantasy value is is doing just fine and is not really hurt Embiid at all, as we've seen Simmons initially, but Simmons has had some really good games in the last few outings, so he's strong. I guess the one thing I take away is J.J. Redick. I wasn't sure how this would all fill out for him. He is really holding steady, right around 100 in ACAT league, so I think you can trust him going forward. Starters minutes, getting the shots, though 17 shots tonight in a very crowded field of players. Muscala, someone I thought might be worthy even as a sixth man. Gosh, even when he started tonight, he didn't really do a whole lot. Just took 4 shots and, just got 7 rebounds. So not someone I'm willing to pick up. Maybe streamable if I'm desperate in a league, but he's still on the outside looking in.
All right, man. Where should we go now?
All right, I got Utah, Miami. I can't figure out this Heat team. Maybe you can help me out. So I'm going to do Utah. They lose 100 to 102. Let's see. We'll start with Donovan Mitchell. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 of 24 shooting, 1 of 1 from the line, 1 of 7 from three-point land, and a steal. Ricky Rubio had one of his good nights, very good night, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 9 of 13 shooting, 2 3-pointers, and a steal. Rudy Gobert, a monster line from him, 12 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 of 9 from the field, 1 steal, 3 blocks. Jay Crowder gets a start as well, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Someone we're streaming as long as he's going to get this many minutes. Joe Ingles, he's been struggling recently, 64 overall on ACAT. Tonight, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. 2 steals. Maybe I just had too high expectations for him. I thought he was going to finish in the top 50. Now I think he's going to finish more around 60 to 70. Off the bench, Royce O'Neal gets 19 minutes. Derek Favors has been relegated to the bench, 18 minutes. Kyle Korver, who recently joined Korver, 17 minutes. Just scored 3 points, though, 1 of 5 or 1 of 6 shooting. Not much to say here. I think Crowder might be owned. We'll see how this plays out. I mean, is this? Do you know if this is the permanent switch? Do we know that if Crowder's in the starting lineup for the foreseeable future? Do you have any news on this? I'm sorry, I'm totally lost on Utah right now. I don't see anyone.
I'm not sure if this is going to be a permanent move, but the Jazz have not been playing well. I think they really. They're kind of desperate to try something different. Defensively, last season, Neil, the Jazz were a top defensive team. This year, their defense hasn't been so great. I think the move for Crowder, moving Favors to the bench, bringing Crowder in the starting lineup, this is a defensive move. And so I think it's going to stick here. Now, the Jazz did not get the victory, but they seem to be playing a little bit better here. So I think Crowder is going to stick in the lineup. But my feeling is that this move was because the Jazz were they were not playing well. So they wanted to just try something different here. What do you think about it, Neil?
Well, Crowder's proven he can be a top 100 player. So last game, like you said, 33 minutes, 24 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. He's someone that I've streamed before this season. And then I kind of let go of as he started to taper off there. I'll have to see how much I trust this. Like you said, the Jazz are kind of in flux. So even if this has been announced as the new starting rotation, it may not last very long either. Crowder's skills have diminished since he's come from Boston. So we'll see how long it lasts.
It's also possible that Crowder matched up a little bit better against Marvin Williams, who loves to play outside on that outside wing spot. So it is possible, too, they just decided to do this because it was a better matchup. But we'll see moving forward.
You mean James Johnson or?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the other night. You're absolutely correct. Yeah. James Johnson. Yeah. Well, I mean, the other night, too, getting the start could have been as well because, Marv Williams is kind of similar, not an inside guy. So it's quite possible was a matchup thing. So we'll just keep our eyes on it and see if it stays like that going forward.
Yeah, I will say that Crowder is probably going to get around high 20s minutes, so he could score in the high teens every night, get a handful of rebounds and a steal here and there. Let's see, he's shooting 40% for the year. That may not get much higher, 72% from the line, so it doesn't really help in either of those categories. All right, you want to head over to the Miami side?
Neil, I'm gonna head over to Miami.
Unless you want to talk about Donovan Mitchell.
No, I just don't want to talk about Donovan Mitchell. I want to forget about Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to move over to the Heat. Going to start with Hassan Whiteside. Neil, he went Barbara Walters tonight, meaning he went 20, 20, 23 points, 20 rebounds, 11 of 17 from the field, 1 of 6 from the line. But hey, who cares? He even added 3 blocks, a steal, 2 assists. An outstanding game from Whiteside. Josh Richardson, Neil, the shooting hasn't been great from him. He's been 4 of 16 tonight for 16 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. He did shoot 6 of 6 from the line and added 2 threes, which is nice. But the shooting percentage has been down from him. So I really hope he can get better there. Wayne Ellington, 12 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, 7 rebounds, 4 threes tonight is outstanding. 4 of 13 from the field. James Johnson still coming around. 19 minutes, he put up 9 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Magruder started but only got 5 minutes and put up a goose egg. Winslow getting 32 minutes, putting up 9 points, 2 steals, and assists, 5 rebounds, 1 3. Dwayne Wade with a nice game off the bench, 30 minutes, 15 points. He had 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 threes, went perfect 5 of 5 from the line. Some of those free throws, Neil, were down the stretch to get this game locked up. So Dwayne Wade, solid here. Kelly Olynyk with 16 points and 8 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block. Bam Adebayo, limited minutes tonight. He only played 14 and had 2 points. This team still missing a big chunk of their core. Goran Dragic is out. Dion Waiters is out. Tyler Johnson is out. This team's a mess, fantasy-wise, Neil. There's so many mouths to feed on this team. What do you think of the Heat, man?
Yeah, we'll say with Johnson out and Dragic out, I think Wade might be streamable. I never thought I'd say that, but with both of those guys out, he's definitely now getting 30 minutes and delivering the basketball, and he still can shoot and can still score. The one other thing I'm taking away is, really surprised by Josh Richardson's shooting this year. You know, he's down to 42% on the season. Didn't expect that to happen. That's really dragging his value. Hassan Whiteside, a monster night. The only thing that holds him back is his free throw percentage. It's regressed, 48% this year. That's crazy. I thought he was someone who was knocking on the door of 70% a couple years ago. I thought he'd get better. Just really frustrating if you own him for that category. Otherwise, if you're punting free throws, he's a monster. That's really it. I thought Wayne Ellington or Magruder, I assume, got hurt tonight. I don't know if you saw anything there. Did you say that? I'm sorry if you.
I saw he played limited minutes, and you're absolutely right. He sounds like a right ankle sprain in the first quarter, so that's why he only saw the limited minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. And then I was just going to say I just saw Tyler Johnson's expected to be back on the 7th of December, so maybe you have a game or two left of Wade streaming before Tyler Johnson gets that streaming spot, I think, for that point guard role until Dragic's back. And then, I thought we'll see. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of different players here. No one's really standing out except for Whiteside tonight. Even Adebayo, I thought, would be better than Olynyk on a night-to-night basis. Tonight, not the case. Kelly Olynyk, a much stronger night. Could be just a matchup, but I really thought Adebayo would get more than 14 minutes with all these injuries. So not sure what to make of that one. Anything else on Miami before I hop over to the next game?
Nope.
All right, Clippers, Dallas. Apparently, Patrick Beverley broke some mouths in Dallas tonight. Did you see any of this news? He knocked out Dennis Smith Jr.'s tooth or something else. I don't know what's going on. We'll start with the Clippers side, though. Start with, Shai Gilgeous, a rough night, 24 minutes, 8 points, 1 rebound, 2 of 5 shooting, 4 from the line, 1 steal, 1 block. Gortat still starting at center, 20 minutes tonight, 4 points, 5 rebounds on 2 of 4 shooting, no blocks, no steals. He has fallen outside the top 230 in ACAT. When they fall, Adrian, they fall quick. Danilo Gallinari, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 of 16 shooting, 5 of 5 from the field, 2 3-pointers, and a steal. Tobias Harris led this team in 36 minutes, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Struggled from the field, though, 5 of 18. Did make a 3-pointer, did have a steal. Avery Bradley, this guy's been interesting. I thought he might be a good late-round pick this year. Certainly has not panned out. Recently, he's been a little bit better. Tonight, played 36 minutes, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Did have 2 steals, did have 2 3-pointers, so decently on that 3-and-D role. Not a lot else. But their 2 main guys off the bench, Lou Williams, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, including 2 3-pointers, and then Montrezl Harrell, who's just been an absolute gem this season, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 11 for 15 from the field. Unfortunately, like Whiteside, he struggles at the line. 1 of 6 tonight and had a steal and a block. Beverly was ejected for the first time, I think, in his career, if I read that right. Played 17 minutes, 3 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I used to love his defense. Now it's just starting to annoy me. I feel like he gets a little too aggressive now, and not a fan of his game that much anymore. Maybe because he has no fantasy value either. I'm very selfish that way. He's fallen outside the top 200 on an 8-cat per game basis. So I want to know from you, Avery Bradley, are you even watching him? I'm not even watching him just yet. What do you think?
He is officially now on the watch list after tonight. Neil, last game had 16 points, 4 3-pointers. That was on Thursday versus the Kings. Now here with another solid game. And he's on the watch list, man. I think if he's going to get big minutes and if he's going to produce like this, I think we got to pick him up. But maybe let's wait one more game. Let's see if he does this one more time. And then I think we're going to make the move on him. But this is a guy that I thought was just absolutely done. Like, we weren't even going to watch this guy or pay attention to him. So this is pretty nice that he now has our attention, or at least my attention.
Let me throw one more question at you, because I was having a discussion today with someone in my home league about Gilgeous-Alexander. I was thinking he tops out. He's currently 127 on a per game basis in 8-cat. I know in the more recent weeks he's been better. He's 89 in the last 2 weeks. I kind of think he tops out, though, right around 80. Do you think he can get better than that?
No, I think you're right. I think he's going to be right about that range. I think he could be better, but this is what's holding him back, Neil. The crowded backcourt of the Clippers, and 2, the fact that he's a rookie, right? So he's still going to have those up and downs. Games like tonight, as you said, had some really nice games earlier in the week. But games like this is going to happen. And then there's going to be times where Pat Beverly's going to have the hot hand, and we're going to see him get limited minutes. So I think due to those factors, he's going to finish right where you think he'll finish. But his upside is definitely much higher. I mean, if this guy landed on a team like the Magic or the Suns, I think this guy would be like top 50 guy, no problem. But it's just those factors, those environment factors from the Clippers that are going to hold him back. What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm curious to know. I think he's going to be a great player in the NBA going forward, but I think I think this year is going to be some up and down. So curious to see where that ends up. Also, his let's see, whatever his categories that are helping him. His free throw percentage. His blocks are he's 0.8 blocks. We'll see if that holds up too. That's the one that kind of makes me a little nervous. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm actually really proud of the Clippers that they've committed to him so early in the season, meaning they made him the starter and he's getting good minutes. Neil, when they drafted him and I knew that they were just so overloaded in the backcourt, I was really scared that they were going to pull this thing where they just kept him on the bench and played all their veteran guys ahead of him. So kudos to the Clippers for turning him loose so early in the season, but it is still somewhat of a limited situation. But anyways.
All right. You want to take us over to the Mavericks?
Gonna start with the Mavericks, and the big buzzkill to start for them is Luka Doncic is out in this game. So that bummed me out, man. Harrison Barnes, though, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 11 of 28 from the field, 3 and 9 from downtown, 5 of 5 from the line. Pretty great game from Harrison Barnes. DeAndre Jordan, 16 points, 23 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 7 from the line. Dorian Finney-Smith, the guy I feel like has been providing some decent late round value. 10 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 7 rebounds, 4 of 7 from the field, 1 3 tonight, 1 of 2 from the line. Dennis Smith Jr., doing okay here. 9 points. The 2 blocks and the 2 steals is really nice. 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 3, 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Wes Matthews with a pretty good game here. 14 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 threes, 5 of 13 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Off the bench, it was J.J. Barea, 27 minutes, put up 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 9 of 18 from the field. He added a 3, 5 of 5 from the line. If Doncic continues to miss time, if Dennis Smith Jr. ends up missing a game here and there, J.J. Barea is your flyer. Harris, 3 points in 17 minutes. Powell with 8 points in 16 minutes. Not too much else here. Neil, what do you think of the Dallas Mavericks?
Yeah, let's see what happens with Dennis Smith Jr. and that injury. But he has been impressing me recently because my expectations for him were so low this year after last year and those horrendous fantasy numbers. He has in the last few weeks, climbed in the top 100 in a couple week basis. He's still 120 on a per game basis for the year, so he's getting better. I think Doncic makes him better, which is good to see, at least in terms of fantasy value. And like you said, Dorian Finney-Smith maybe has some value. I don't know. Harrison Barnes, I was not big on this year, but he's doing okay. 105th overall in ACAT, better in the last couple weeks. This Dallas team kind of, there's not much here, outside Luka Doncic, and then DeAndre Jordan, who's kind of a punt free throw guy. Although this year not so much. Not much else here I can really count on.
You know what? From a reality standpoint, though, the Mavericks playing some pretty good ball. 11-10, they beat up on the Clippers, who are up at top on the Western Conference. So it's a pretty good win here for the Mavericks. Surprised, too, they get this win without Luka Doncic, who's been one of their best players. So I feel like things are really turning around for this Mavericks team. They may be a few pieces away from really being a contender. So it's just really nice to see. I had very low expectations for the Mavericks this year, Neil. I thought they would be one of these teams that would be vying for Zion at the end of the season.
Oh, wow. I was totally opposite. They were, I took their over. It was 34
wow.
wins. 34
All
wins.
right.
We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't say I took them. I predicted every one, and I predicted their over.
Nice.
Here's the crazy thing about the West, though. The Clippers are one. They were number one up until today, I think, and they might have dropped. But the West, the top 14 teams are all playoff worthy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Okay, anyway, I'll go on to Portland. They fall tonight to San Antonio, another game of two teams fighting for playoff. Will be fighting for the playoff positioning or even get into the playoffs by the end of the season. 131, 118. Portland falls on their stat set tonight. Another big night from Lillard. 37 points, 2 rebounds, 10 assists on 12 of 28 shooting. His free throw percentage is phenomenal. 10 out of 10 from the line tonight. 3 3-pointers, 2 steals. CJ McCollum starting to come back a little bit after his slow start. 24 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 of 22 shooting, 2 3-pointers, and a block. Yusuf Nurkic has been just so strong this year. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 of 2 from the line. That's really where he's really improved his game. 2 steals, no blocks, unfortunately, from that line. Mo Harkless, someone who I thought might be worth it. Picking up at some point this season. We'll see. Tonight, not a good line, but not a bad line either. 8.7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. 2 of 2 from the line. Just took 5 shots though. Aminu, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. It's hard to trust this because he went 7 of 9 from the field. Could have easily been. He's not going to shoot that rate every night. Tonight though, 4 3-pointers, a steal, and a block. Off the bench. Let's see. Am I reading this right? Oh, no, I was not reading it right. Nick Stauskas got 18 minutes. Seth Curry, 16 minutes. Myers Leonard, 13. Zach Collins, someone who was obviously very buzzworthy earlier in the year. Tonight, just 11 minutes, 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. It's hard to really buy into someone who's not a starter and isn't really that 6-man dominant player like a Lou Williams coming off the bench to really trust their fantasy set. And this kind of how it's played out for Zach Collins in the last few weeks. Not much else here to take away, except I think McCollum's going to come back to his draft value, currently 72 overall. On a per-game basis in 8-cat, it's kind of held steady, but I'm a believer in him. I think he's going to come back up to around 50th by season's end. We'll see. Any thoughts on the Trailblazers?
Mo Harkless, I feel like, is a guy in some deeper leagues that might take a shot on this guy, Neil. He's coming off an injury, so I don't really think he's at 100% speed yet. I think he's still kind of getting his legs, so I think he's going to be better. What I'm really optimistic about is him starting and seeing 34 minutes here. So I'm talking about deeper leagues, 14 teams or deeper. I may take a shot on Mo Harkless. I saw him sitting out there on a few wires. And then, Zach Collins, what a bummer. Just starting the season so hot. I thought he was going to build on that and keep getting better. And I'm seeing this guy on the wire everywhere, and I mean, you can understand why, and you can't move on this guy. He's just not worth rostering at all right now. All right, Neil, gonna jump in on the San Antonio Spurs side. Gonna start with DeMar DeRozan here. It's 36 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, 8 rebounds, 10 of 10 from the line, 13 of 27 from the field. It's a great game from him. Rudy Gay with 18 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 of 4 from downtown, 7 of 10 from the field. LaMarcus Aldridge here with 29 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 3 assists, 8 rebounds, 11 of 15 from the field, 7 of 8 from the line. Did have 5 turnovers, but you'll take that. Bertans only 10 points, 27 minutes. Forbes not doing too much here, 7 points in 23 minutes. Derek White getting 33 minutes off the bench, 10 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. This is a little encouraging here. 4 of 7 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3-point range. It did have a nice game a few nights ago as well. So this guy's starting to get my interest. Let's keep an eye on him and see how he does. Patty Mills, 15 points, 25 minutes. Jakob Poeltl still not doing much, 6 points in 13 minutes. Nothing really else here to talk about. Gasol's out indefinitely. What are your thoughts on the San Antonio Spurs, Neil?
Yeah, I'm so happy that DeRozan's kind of fit in really well for this team, and he's gotten a lot of usage and delivering great value. Currently, let's see, on the season, I have a different screen up. He's currently 26th overall. That's just amazing. Aldridge, 76, though. This has been the big disappointment this year. Good to see him have a good line tonight. I expect him to bounce back. I mean, it's really his he's shooting 40% on the year, which is not too bad, but we're used to seeing him closer to 50% from the field. That's really where he's going to make up some ground if he's going to increase his value. Let's see. And I thought Poeltl would maybe get some value here with Gasol out for a while, but it just hasn't happened. So someone who I thought might have value even with Gasol there doesn't even have value with Gasol out. So maybe this guy's a year or forever away from being fantasy viable. No other thoughts, though. Anything else you want to wrap up on this game or any other games before we conclude?
Nope, that's about it for me. And I think that's it from the evening, Neil. 6 games covered, and we're on to another week of fantasy hoops. What do you think, man? Are you excited?
Yeah, I had a good week. Two head-to-head weeks, came out on top. Doing decent in my home league, so I'm competitive in all my leagues, so just trying to not obsess about it. How about you? I'm
pretty excited. I got a big win in the Hoop Ball Staff League. won 7-2 over the 4th place team. I'm currently ranked 7th. So I need to jump into the top 4 in this league, Neil, so I can move up to tier 1. In another league we're in, my team's a wreck. So I got a 4-4 tie in that one, and I'm surprised I was even able to squeak that out. And in my home league, Neil, my team is also a wreck, where I own Victor Oladipo, Donovan Mitchell. I got a lot of underwhelming guys like Jonathan Isaac and Kyle Anderson. So that league it's been pretty ugly for me there. And my hopes and my dreams of a three-peat, Neil, are quickly going down the toilet in that league.
Traded with that guy who traded Kyrie Irving. That's my advice for us.
I actually made a trade with that guy. I got Luka Doncic from him for Jared Allen. So I actually was able to make a trade with him with that same guy. Yeah. But you know what's funny that you mentioned him is because he's definitely a guy now on my radar where you can buy low on any of his players. Meaning if any of his guys go through a slump, you throw trade offers on that guy. For example, he owns Josh Richardson, Neil, and we just talked about how Josh Richardson's going through a shooting slump at the moment. Maybe I should throw some buy low offers over at him.
I would be offering him every day until you get your team back into contention. You need a three-peat, Adrian. That's such an impressive. That would have such an impressive run if you went 3 in a row in a home league.
And you know, one thing that really bums me out, Neil, it's a 14-team league, meaning the wire is just a wasteland. The wire is a desert of nothingness, man. It is so ugly. And in seasons past, we were playing a 12-team, and it was a lot easier to grab guys off the wire. I'm always pretty good about doing wire work. But this year, Neil, it is just really difficult to score off the wire. So it's going to be a rough go in this league, but I'm still having a good time. And it's still a long season. We're just over the 20% mark. So we still got a lot of season to go, guys. Don't give up. You got to keep grinding every day. You got to grind, man. Make those trades, make those pickups, keep improving your team any way you can. All right, Neil, any closing thoughts on the show?
No, just hit us up on Twitter. I'll give you my Twitter handle. It's at @ballwithneil. Happy to have any conversations on there. BALLWITHNEIL. And I'll let you take us out.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for listening and supporting the show. Hit me up on Twitter at Adrian Benjamins. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.